Steps in creating scatterplot by yours truly, Jocelyn L. Cayabyab, EDD Math. Scatterplot are useful for interpreting trends in statistical data. Each observation or point in the scatterplot has two coordinates. The first corresponds to the first piece of data in the pair, which is the x-coordinate, and the second coordinate corresponds to the second piece of data in the pair, which is the y-coordinate. Remember, you interpret a scatterplot by looking for trends in the data as you go from left to right. Scatterplot. When examining the relationship between two continuous variables, always look at the scatterplot to see visually the pattern or relationship between them and look for outliers. These are the observation lying away from the main body of points. Correlation. It measures the strength of linear relationships, which means the pattern looks roughly like a line. Determining whether a relationship is linear or not is an important assumption if you are analyzing your data using Pearson's product moment correlation, Spearman rank order correlation, simple linear regression, multiple regressions, amongst other statistical tests. These are the key things when interpreting a scatterplot. First, is the relationship weak, moderate, or strong? Second, is the relationship linear? Third, is the relationship positive or negative? Fourth, are there any outliers? If the data shows an uphill pattern as you move from left to right, this indicates a positive relationship between x and y. As x values increases, it moves right, and the y values tend to increase, it moves up. Figure below represents a positive relationship between the values. If the data shows a downhill pattern as you move from left to right, this indicates a negative relationship between x and y. As x values increase, it moves right, and the y values tend to decrease, it moves down. Figure below shows a negative relationship between two continuous values or variables. If the data don't seem to resemble any kind of pattern, even a vague one, then no relationship exists between x and y. Figure below shows that the two continuous variables have no relationship. Note, scatterplot only suggests a linear relationship between two sets of values. Warning, scatterplot shows positive relationship or association between two variables. However, just because your graph or chart shows something is going on, it doesn't mean that the cause and effect relationship exists. If the scatter plot doesn't indicate there's at least somewhat of a linear relationship, the correlation doesn't mean much. However, you can take the idea of no linear relationship two ways. First, if no relationship at all exists, calculating the correlation doesn't make sense because correlation only applies to linear relationship. Second, if a strong relationship exists but it's not linear, the correlation may be misleading because in some cases a strong curve relationship exists. That's why it's critical to examine the scatter plot first. These are the steps in creating scatter plots. Data below shows the different states, their states codes, and the different search engines used by the different state codes shown. Here, we are interested on determining is there a relationship between the search engine SPSS and totally lost. For us to do that, let us create our scatter plot. First step, click graphs then choose Chart Builder. Chart Builder dialog box will appear. Choose Scatter Dot as shown by the arrow below. Drag SPSS to the x-axis and drag Totally Lost to y-axis. Partial view of the scatter plot is shown by the figure below. Click on the group point ID, then checkpoint ID label. Drag state code to the point ID box, then click Close button. The figure below will show you the partial view of your scatter plot. For you to modify or edit the created scatter plot, just double-click the figure and it shows you the chart editor dialog box. Click Elements, then choose Hide Data Levels to unhide those data levels shown by the scatter dot. Figure below will show you the partial view of your scatter plot. To change the color of the scatter plot or scatter dot, click any of the scatter dot, then choose Marker, then click Fill Box, then choose any color from the Properties dialog box. Doing so, you will have the partial view of your scatter plot as shown below. If you want to round off numbers in the x and y axis into whole number, just double-click any of the numbers found in the x or in y axis. Properties dialog box will appear. Click Number Format button, then write 0 on the decimal places box. Click Apply button. Same process will be applied to change the decimal numbers to whole number. Doing that process, it will give you the partial view of your scatter plot as shown below. To draw the line in the scatter dot, click Elements, then choose Fit Line at Total. Properties dialog box will appear. Choose the desired fit method, then click the Close button. Doing the process, the figure below will show you the partial view of your scatter plot. To delete the given equation of the line, just uncheck this button as shown by the arrow below, then click Apply button, then Close. Delete the regression result. To delete the regression result, click this button as shown by the arrow below. Click this button as shown by the arrow below, then drag it to view the level of the outlier dot. These are the steps in creating scatter plots. Thank you for listening.